I don't want him there. She wants him there. It got to the point where I told her to choose between me or him. One of us has got to go. Well, he left. She's been wanting him to come home. I say no. He got a speeding ticket and the proof of no insurance or whatever they call that. He has the car. It's his car. It's in my wife's name.
Oh, okay.
But he paid her for the car. He never took the title. I told her to give it to him, cancel the insurance. She never did. So that's how the argument started.
In just the first few minutes, Michael has made several assertions that indicate possible control issues. He's cited several instances where he's told his wife what to do rather than communicating and making decisions together.
She texted me, asked me if I called the insurance. I said no. I said I haven't had time. You can read it.
Okay.
Notice how Michael rubs his face after handing his phone to the detective, then proceeds to partially cover his mouth with his hand, keeping it there for the next couple minutes. Michael is also covering his genitals here. This is a common barrier used by men when they feel threatened or stressed. These gestures convey anxiety and uneasiness, not unusual for someone who's just lost their spouse. However, hiding the face is also typical of someone who might be trying to hide something else.
Your son has some drug issues or anything? Does your wife have any alcohol or drug issues?
No.
Is there anything that...
No. Okay. She's very controlling.
Michael's answer here is completely irrelevant to the question. Instead of simply responding with information about Hope's substance abuse, he goes into a rather sudden and impertinent spiel about how controlling she is. So far, Michael has taken almost every chance to speak negatively of his wife, even if it wasn't warranted.
As far as
very, very clean.
Self-control or controlling on everybody?
Controlling on everybody.
Okay. Okay.
Which I'm used to it. They don't bother me.
Yeah, for 25 years, you find your niche. I mean,
I've gotten used to it. I take medication. I do have anger issues, but I take medication for it. But I've never done anything.
Michael continues to divulge information that wasn't asked for. The fact that he has anger issues, which he takes medication for, clues detectives in on Michael's capacity to become violent. He then feels it necessary to include that he's never done anything violent to his wife. What Michael is doing here is oversharing, or volunteering unnecessary and excessive amounts of information. Oversharing is, more often than not, a nervous attempt to convince others that one is being open and honest. However, as you can see here, it often has the opposite effect. It's entirely possible that Michael could be oversharing to alleviate anxiety, as some people tend to do.
Okay, so nothing controlled substance, no Xanax or anything like that. Okay. Now, and granted, it's what all families do as well, especially if you're arguing over a kid and stuff.
I want to hurt him. I hate to say this and have it on recording, but I do. I want to hurt him. That's why he had to go.
Michael doesn't even let the detective finish his question before he goes off on another tangent. This time, he derails the conversation to the topic of his son, John. Admitting to something less egregious in order to appear completely transparent is a common tactic used to gain the trust of others.
Would she confide in him or your daughter?
Yes.
Or
him.
Okay.
Me and my daughter are real close. Her and John are real close. She'll do anything for her, which that's what makes me mad.
Michael clearly possesses a considerable level of bitterness toward his wife concerning how much she dotes on their son. Not only that, but up to this point, Michael has centered the entire interrogation around how toxic he believes his wife and son are, painting John as the problem and his wife as an out-of-control enabler. If he did have something to do with what happened to Hope, he's just established a clear motive for himself.
When she left, you started getting in the car. Right? Did you happen to see the driver at all? Couldn't tell, male, female, anything?
Frankly, Michael seems much more concerned about their intermarital issues than he does about the fact that his wife might have been found dead just that morning.
Has she ever been known to kind of step outside the marriage at all? Is there nothing?
No.
Nobody from her past that she could run to?
We used to live in Illinois. Me and my daughter talked about that. I said, if anything, it's my daughter. I haven't told her yet.
Well, and we're still, I mean, they're still doing some stuff somewhere else. So that's why we're talking to you to get information. And I actually don't even know what all the officers told you. I'm just trying to get
He just
overall picture.
told me that the tattoos that I described to him, which I do have pictures of them, the tattoos matched the description.
You said earlier you were going to give her till Friday. What made you decide to go ahead and call today?
My emotions. I'm very worried. I'm very worried about her. I miss her.
In addition to stuttering throughout his answer, Michael appears to break eye contact with the detective for a moment and looks directly at the camera. He seems uncertain in what he's saying.
We may have found her. So we're still looking into that.
Before now, Michael has been informed that the tattoos found on the headless woman matched those of his wife. However, hearing the news again begets a distressed reaction, which is expected. He covers his mouth with his hand and looks away from the detective. He also uncrosses his leg, a shift referred to as an anchor point movement. When someone is stressed, you'll commonly see shifts in their anchor points. In the case of a person who's sitting down, like Michael, their anchor points are their legs, buttocks, and back. Though his physical reaction is appropriate, it seems oddly void of the usual overwhelming anger or sadness that you might see from someone in Michael's position.
What made you think that something had happened to her?
I think it's just stress. I didn't think anything happened to her. It's just worried. I wanted to know where she was.
This question is at first met with silence from Michael, perhaps because it requires him to go into detail about how he feels about his wife's disappearance. He seems uncomfortable and exasperated, but he proceeds to mumble an answer from behind his hand.
He's going to go over a couple papers with you as far as the consent and just consent to search your house and the car, because there's some things we need to find out about her. Because like I said, I don't know her and I don't really know you. Because we need to find out how she got
Search her car?
Yeah. But I'll go ahead and let him fill that paperwork out. I'll step outside and I'll try to get some more information.
Michael's body language is very important here. At the mention of needing to search their home and car, Michael begins to noticeably fidget. He rubs his face and his leg begins to shake, though he seems to catch it and get himself back under control. Michael is then left alone in the interrogation room for the next few minutes. He changes positions and fidgets quite frequently. At one point, he even puts his head in his hands. These gestures signify stress and uneasiness.
What we'd like to do is be able to get consent, and we'd like to be able to get that from you. Is that something you'd be willing to do?
I can bring you the car right now if you want.
Normally, a search warrant is required to search someone's property. It's common knowledge that in order to obtain a search warrant, police must have probable cause, or specific facts that would lead a person to believe that evidence of a crime is located on someone's property. However, it's a lesser-known fact that police can simply ask an individual for permission to search their property. The owner's written consent is just as valid as a search warrant, and officers will often try to garner consent to search from the suspect first, especially in time-sensitive